a freedom fighter and he was learning to fight.
That's right.
So we gon' keep fighting all day and night until this shit is right. That's right. So whose side are you on, my people? Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on, my people? Whose side are you on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 215 days. Hey, 215 days. Hey, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 250 days. Hey, hey, 250 days. Make some noise for
Yeah.
250 days, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all okay? Y'all okay today? Y'all can make some noise with your mouths. Ah! Y'all can yell. I know it's cold, but get it all out. I got one. That's it. Michelle. Thank you. Thank you. So, today...
Hey, fix it there for silence, y'all.
Today, we out here to honor Corey Stingley.
Jackie.
Corey Stingley was choked out. Oh, so we gonna have our brother speak on this first.
Come on, Khalil. Close to Brother Khalil. This one close.
Y'all make some noise for Mariah.
Yeah.
Y'all make some noise for the People Revolution.
Yeah.
Y'all make some noise for 215 days. Y'all some real motherfuckers. I fucks with y'all. Got the fucking revolution. Hey, hey, y'all. Is Craig here?
The brother right there.
Man, step in a circle with me, my brother, please. Make some noise for Craig Stingley, y'all. The father of Corey Stingley. Where's Jackie? Make some noise for Jackie, y'all. Jackie reached out to me, and Jackie said, you know, we're celebrating the anniversary of Corey Stingley. And, Khalil, we would love for you to be there. And I said, you know, that's no problem. Because Craig Stingley is a man that I look up to. You know, we didn't work with a lot of fathers, you know, Jose Acevedo, you know, we didn't,
Jay Anderson.
you know, Jay Anderson's father, absolutely. And it's been some men who have lost their children, who have really been some role models to what a man should look like. And Craig Stingley is one of those men who I am proud to say that through the years of knowing Craig, and meeting Craig when his son was murdered in a convenience store. And I'm going to let you tell that story, Brother Craig. But when I met Craig, I met a man of fire, a man of determination, a man who didn't know no quit when it came down to justice for his son. Until this day, this man has fought. He has stood with other families. He has talked with district attorneys in the state, talked with national people about what can be done to prevent these things from happening. And here he is in 2020 still fighting the same fight. So with all due respect, I'm going to pass this voice moment over to Brother Craig to enlighten us on what type of young man his son was. Because he was a great young man. And when we went to the school and we did the protest at the school, this was a man who was loved by all. White, black, brown. Everybody knew Corey Stingley as a good young man and a great young man. And regardless of whatever happened in that convenience store, Corey Stingley had the right to life. Say it with me. Corey Stingley had the right to life.
That's right.
Period. Make some noise for Corey Stingley.
Great Stingley. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Sure. So, first let me say I appreciate you all being here tonight. This has not been an easy week for my entire family. My daughter's right here and my nephews. So why don't you guys come over here? Come on.
Yeah!
My grandson, I'm sorry. You know, it's just one of them days. This is Corey's sister, Chloe, his older sister, and this is his nephew. That's what I meant. This is Corey Stingley. He's named Corey after Corey. Spelled A-U-R-I. And the Creator gave them to us. And he gave his brother to us. He has a brother in the car. His name is Osric Stingley. And the Creator saw fit to fill up some of our time and our energy for life and love for life with two members when we had to let go of one. And it hasn't been easy. 8 years have passed today since we took him off of life support. I was telling Jackie when I spoke with her a couple days ago that myself and Corey's mom actually, we recognized the 14th as the day that he left us. But I appreciate you being here and I appreciate the effort of every one of you. And I appreciate all the effort that you put in for all the other families who are struggling right now to deal with the injustice that this system we live in is still perpetuating on us. Khalil said that I had, so I've been fighting. I've tried everything I could. We marched, I got arrested with these brothers. We were on the expressway. And I just come to a place where I believe that, you know, the Creator puts us all in a place and a time to do what we can do. And over the past several years, the Creator has directed my energy towards the legal, the constitutional part of what we've been where we've been violated, where our rights have been violated. And just in the past couple of weeks, I need to share this part specifically because it's recent, but it is a breakthrough, and I'm grateful for it. My daughter would tell you it was a huge relief for me. But about 3 years ago, I had completed a thorough investigation, a thorough review of all the evidence that was involved in my son's case. And I sought every way I could to get John Chisholm to look at it. And he refused to. He kept ignoring me. Every letter I sent him, every call I made, email I made, he ignored it. And so I called one of our state representatives, Evan Goyke, and I asked him if he would help me. And he did. And we started writing letters to the Attorney General, and he wrote letters on our behalf, on behalf of Corey, because I had an opportunity to sit down and show him the evidence that showed one of the individuals involved in this murder who had told D.A. Chisholm and West Dallas Police that he never touched my son's throat. But the video showed that he did. And what happened is that they did a cursory, a perfunctory investigation, and they just completely disregarded the eyewitness statements from one of the individuals who was there that night, who said he saw this vigilante choking the hell out of my son and never letting go until the police arrived, which was probably 10, 12 minutes after this incident started. And just like George Floyd, just like Acevedo, when you see video of somebody. I mean, with George Floyd, it just sickened me. All over again. I can't tell you the hurt of a father after 16 years. After a year, but after 16 years of putting time and love into a young person who was just simply that, a young man trying to live life, trying to grow and understand what it was all about. He made a child's mistake because he was a child. He went and attempted to try to shoplift some alcohol on a Friday to go have some, drinks that he know he shouldn't have done with his friends. But he's a 16-year-old boy in high school. And when the clerk at the store told him that he saw him put this merchandise in his book bag, Corey, after all the training and things that I had taught him, he came to himself and he took the book bag off and gave it back to the clerk.
Yes, he did.
With the merchandise in it. Sat it on the counter, and the clerk began to retrieve his items out of Corey's book bag. Corey had, prior to that, given him his debit card. The debit card was sitting on the counter. And Corey reached his hand out for the debit card, and the guy said no, he sat it there. And so Corey stood there while he took his merchandise out of the book bag. And while that was happening, Corey reached over and grabbed. Now, he didn't jump on the counter. I mean, I've seen it 1,000 times. He didn't jump on the counter. He wasn't on his belly. He just grabbed the debit card. He turned around and run out of the store because he was scared. Because he knew that being caught doing something like that, we were going to have a long talk.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We were past the point where I would physically discipline him because he had spankings as a kid growing up. He knew right from wrong. I'm not going to deny that. That's the kind of parent that I am. My daughter would tell you. But it was one of those things where he knew that it was going to be not a good situation, punishment, whatever it was going to be. But instead of allowing him to come back home, 3 murderers decided to take the law into their own hands. And they choked the life out of him. And for the life of me, I can't understand that as a grown man, as an adult male. How do you choke the life out of someone saying you're thinking you're doing the right thing? So as vivid as those images are right now in my mind, and I can stand here and tell you detail from, every part of it, because I've gone over it 100 times, 1,000 times. But let me get back to the letter. So all of that took place, and I had to get the information. I had to have the evidence so I would know exactly what happened, because I had to say to myself, as the same father who disciplined him and raised him, and then helping raise this young person right here, and then raise this young lady right here, is that if he was in there trying to harm somebody, then what happened to him, I'd have to accept it, because that's the parent that I raised them to be. And I told him, we don't do those kind. But he was a harmless. He wasn't trying to harm anyone. So, I gathered all the evidence. I had the video. I had copies of the John Doe report. I had copies of the West Dallas Police report. And everything that the police and this district attorney had, I had copies of it. Because I followed it every step of the way. Because I wanted to make sure that nothing that wasn't supposed to happen would happen, and that the thing needed to happen would have justice, right? That's all I want. So that was denied. And for 8 years, I tried to find out how it was that the marks that were on my son's throat got there if nobody choked. And I asked that question to D.A. Chisholm, and he would not answer that question. He refused to answer that question. And many times I asked him, so I continue to put pressure where I could. I wrote letters to the governor. I wrote letters to the president of the United States, to the attorney general. I wrote letters to our senators. I wrote letters to state senators. I had many people who were in these positions of authority. They call the administrative authority, right? This is the system by which everything they do to us is done through this administrative authority, and they ignore it, and they hide it under a desk, and all in this administrative authority. So I found ways to get through this, to navigate this administrative authority, to find out who was the person I need to get answers from. And here I am after 8 years today. I can tell you that after the past 3 years of going back and forth, trying to get some justice with new evidence, which the state law says in state statute 950, chapter 950, the Victims' Rights Statute, it says that if you're a victim of a crime, you have a right to present new evidence if you come up with it. And the DA has an obligation to listen to it, to review it, to do an investigation. And he refused to do that. Derelict in his duties. So I wrote letters again. I wrote to Attorney General Call before him, Schimmel, all of them. And they all derelict in their duties. Till finally, Representative Goyke wrote a letter to DA GA Schimmel. He told him, well, go back to Chisholm and tell him that he needs to investigate this. Chisholm told us then, go have West Dallas Police, review this new evidence that he says he has. And if they think it has merit, then they will, present it to me. So I met with the West Dallas Police. And they reviewed all the evidence. I showed them where this individual, one of these murderers, said he never touched my son's throat. And then I showed them where he did on the video. I took still photos out of it and showed them clearly where this individual's left hand was on Corey's throat. And he decided that they missed that information in their initial investigation. Back in August of 2017. And I've been waiting 3 years for Chisholm to do something with it. And he ignored it. So then, what he decided to do was turn it over to Racine County Police, the district attorney, as a special prosecutor. Here's the administrative authority loophole. So she sat it in her desk and it sat there for 3 years. I called her every month to see when they were gonna meet with us, because that's one of the requirements they have, to meet with us and review the evidence so that they can begin prosecution or begin their investigation leading to charges and prosecution. And she ignored it and ignored it. And I was coming to my wit's end, and I was telling everybody that I could. Many of you may have heard me on the radio saying, hey, this is just where I'm at. And I can't tell you why this man who was over at Miller Coors did what he did. But I can tell you why he ultimately ended up making a decision he did, because he was being ignored. And then the Creator saw fit to lead me to a statute in the Wisconsin State Statute 968.26. And it says that in the John Doe laws, that if a crime has been committed in the county, in the jurisdiction of a judge, and it hasn't been prosecuted, that as a victim, as a citizen in this county, that I have a right to come to a judge and file a complaint that that crime had not been prosecuted. And if the evidence shows that there was a crime committed, then that judge has a duty to refer for prosecution to a special prosecutor if requested, particularly if the DA in that county isn't doing his job. So I filed a complaint against Chisholm. I filed that complaint with the chief judge 3 weeks ago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Come on, Craig.
And yesterday,
Yes, sir.
they called me and told me it has been given a case number.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Investigated.
Yeah.
There will be a special prosecutor.
Yes, sir.
That's what we talking about.
Yes, sir.
And today I found out that the case has been assigned to a judge in the criminal court.
Yes, sir.
So these individuals who thought they was getting away,
Yes, sir.
let me tell you, don't quit. Because you don't know where the Creator is leading you. Why they're leading you that way. But we got to scour every part of this Constitution in the United States and in the states that we live in, because we don't know where the law that is supporting us is hidden. That's the energy that I got from this young spirit who left us. You know, I mean, when I got Corey's belongings back, I found the Constitution in the pocket of the pants that he had on. And I know that he wanted to be a lawyer. And it's that energy and that spirit that has driven me for the past 8 years.
Wow.
And I just believe in my heart of hearts that 3 weeks ago when I came across that statue, when I was at my end, because I didn't know, I mean, I filed federal lawsuits against the state of Wisconsin.
Yes, you have.
I've done everything I could legally.
Yes, you have.
I've had a restraining order filed against me.
Yes, sir.
And I want to clarify that story because I never threatened anyone. I haven't seen these individuals since they took my son's life.
Say that.
And had I threatened them, the DA wouldn't have had to tell them. I'd tell that to anybody. I'm saying it right here, right now, and I stand on that.
Damn right.
I didn't have to go threatening them because I knew right was right and wrong was wrong. And if he wasn't in the wrong, then the right could be found, and it was found.
That's right.
Now, after 8 years, and an example for me personally was Medgar Everett's wife, Merle Evans. This woman waited 30 years to get justice for her husband. So I started saying to myself, a year, that's just a long time, but it's not that long. Because she waited 30 years. So here we are, we reached the 8-year point. And it's going to be a little longer, I know. But the truth is truth, man. They have never changed the truth. The truth is these individuals choked my son to death. And Chisholm tried to ignore it. He tried to sweep it under the rug. He tried to call it positional asphyxiation. That's an involuntary thing. It's not forcefully excessive force applied. And so that's what happened here. These people applied excessive force. They lost control of themselves when they called themselves trying to restrain and control someone else. So now they need to be held accountable for it. And that is what I expect. Nothing less. That's why I've stayed on top of this, because I'm not going to jail for them. They need to go to jail for themselves because they're the ones who did wrong.
Yes, sir.
And now that this avenue, this truth, right? Because it's the truth. I mean, if the Constitution is real, then it's just like the chief judge. When she received this information, she had a choice. And if the evidence said that a crime was committed but it hasn't been prosecuted, then she had to take the appropriate next step, which was to assign a case number. And I waited for like a week to get that number. To get that, because I'm like, I've been denied and let down before. But I tell you something. When I got that number, I called my whole family. I said, listen, we finally gonna get an investigation for real, a thorough, complete investigation. Because the judge accepted the complaint and she recognized that something has happened that has been wrong. And so I'm gonna leave it right there in their hands. Because that's what this system is for, right? It's been wrong, it's corrupted, yeah, we know that. They let so many people get away with murder, you know, Tamir Rice, to be just, 12 years old, 11, 12 years old, and be shot like that. I mean, that's one that just stuck to me when that happened. Because it said to me, what kind of society do we live in? Where we could kill a 12-year-old kid for playing in a park. And let a cop just pull up and 2 seconds later he's shooting his boy in his head and for no reason? No, we can't. That's not humanity. So we have to keep fighting. I mean, I have to tell you, as hard as it's been, and even tonight, as hard as this whole thing has been, I love every one of y'all for the energy,
Love you too.
for the spirit, for the just unwavering, that it's just something that the Creator does to people when they realize that wrong has been committed, and there's nothing that can stop them from doing the right thing because it's in you. When you're real human, you don't let people do this and take, and just say, oh well. So no, man, we got to stop that. And I just have to tell you, it's been that same thing. When I hear about, how many 200 some odd days, if I can't be there, the work that I'm doing that's there just so that you know that it ain't in vain. And the things that I'm trying to do be just at that desk, researching and reading all night trying to find laws that'll apply to what we going through. I mean, it's there, and we have to start using and applying. We can't get attorneys to do it. That means we got to get to the work in them books too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's where the avenues are that they don't want you to find.
Yes, sir.
And I just have a feeling in my heart and in my soul that everything that these police officers have done to people, taking their lives unjustly, there is something in them books that applies to that. We have to find it, and that's what I'm searching for. There's another brother that I've been working with. I don't know if many of you may know him. His name's Brother Shiar. But we've been scouring them pages, man, and scouring. And so when I found this stuff, that day, I shared it with my family. Then I had to send that brother a text and say, man, you know, I think I found exactly what I need. And once I got that letter back and the case number, I just tell you, it was such a relief for me. And that's what these parents, these families are missing. Because there's an imbalance that is taking place in all of our lives. I know y'all feel it. Because it's happening to y'all too. Anytime somebody is taken away from us unjustly, and even with this COVID stuff, and the administration that we have handling all of this stuff, it takes from every one of us when a human life is taken unjustly. We're all part of the same family. We got to stop this nonsense, man. You know, the killing on the streets, all this stuff. So, I mean, we really just have to find ways to allow for the energy that y'all have so that it'll spread. And I mean, it's happening. It's happening. There's no doubt about it. But I just had to share that. You know, I'm feeling with a lot of emotions right now because I try to keep that balance. But tonight, I can't help it.
Yes, sir.
And I ain't trying to help it.
Yes, sir.
My face is full of tears, and my heart is full of energy because it took 8 years. 8 years, and I got an answer. And I know, in my spirit, I know that the rest of it is going to be complete.
You got more coming.
It's going to be complete. They're going to be tried. They're going to be charged, tried, and they're going to be held accountable for what they did. Because the facts are there. The evidence is there. And Chisholm can't ignore this. He can't get away from it. You know, he tried that. He tried everything he could. And the power greater than him was already, you know, it was already done. It was already done. We just had to do the walking and do the stepping to get to the information that was needed. And with that, I just have to say thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Because y'all gave me energy to keep going too. I'm tell you, I joined you in a couple of the marches during the, you know, some of the other events. I couldn't be there every day, but I had to thank you all because y'all energy has filled me up to help me stay the course.
Yes, sir.
And I want you to know that.
Yes, sir.
And I will keep you posted as things progress forward. You know, for sure. For sure. 'Cause our work ain't in vain. Our work ain't in vain.